Welcome to our show. We're a brother and sister duo who enjoy talking about politics and world events. If it's in the news, we're talking about it. My name is Gareth Thomas.
And my name is Justine Thomas, and this is the T Word.
What are you talking about this week, Justine?
Well, well, as ever, there's so much to talk about. So the Reform UK board is going to have 3 members appointed by the membership. And actually, there's a live husting this evening that should have started at 6, but I did check in at about 6:30 and it hadn't started. So I'm guessing there is some technical glitch, which I can't really say anything about, given that we've just spent an hour having technical glitches. So that is all part of the democratisation of Reform UK, which there had been lots of complaints that the party was not very democratic, because I know, for example, other parties have quite robust voting systems for appointing people. So yes, we're missing out on that. But anyway, we don't need the Reform UK live hosting because
you've got this, although this isn't live. So the board, is the board the only group of people that can vote off Farage then as leader now?
That's a good question. I don't know if he can ever really be voted off as leader.
I don't know. I'm just... well,
controversial topic.
Is it? Well, it is what it is, isn't it? It is. I mean, the Conservatives, I don't mind. At the end of the day, you know my thoughts. I think Farage is the head honcho. It's his party. Reform is Nigel Farage. Farage is Reform. So I could just imagine if it was like the 1922 Commission. Is it the 1922 Commission?
The 1922 committee.
Yes. Sorry, the committee. Well, they obviously, the Conservatives were changing leader every 10 minutes, weren't they? Which isn't very good for the country when all the political party that is in power is trying to vote each other out for the next leader to come in to then get voted out as well. So it would be nice to have a leader who you couldn't really just chuck out, that could just get on with running the country. Someone like Keir Starmer.
And actually,
it's harder for him to be dethroned, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's voted on by all the members, isn't he? But I'm sure there's lots of MPs who would like to dethrone him. But maybe some of those are moving towards Jeremy Corbyn anyway, because he's set up his own party, as we know. Do we know what that's called yet? Is that called the Left Party?
Your party, our party, my party.
Well, I don't know about dethroning Keir Starmer, but what about dethroning David Lammy? What about throwing him in prison because he's just broken the law? I think, look, we need to get tough on crime. We've had this conversation before. You said you were not for rehabilitation. You said offenders need stiffer punishments and they need to be sent to jail. So do you support sending people to prison for not having a fishing license?
Well, you can have a fine of up to £2,500. And I can tell you, every time I drive into London, I will get a fine for either putting one wheel in a bus lane or stopping in some kind of box junction or pulling over. I mean, the first time I went to London on my own, I stopped outside of McDonald's for a double cheeseburger. I didn't realise those red lines were like a horrific, the double red lines. I'm from the north.
You'd never seen them before.
I've never seen them before. I just pulled up, went and got me double cheeseburger, happy as Larry.
They're pretty.
Yeah. God, they're different colour in London. Week later, £100 fine. Go to London. You're not permitted to go down the street. £100 fine. Go in. I never knew what ULEZ was when I first drove into London to work. I mean, I'm like, I don't even know if it was just an insult. So literally every time I go into London, I get a fine. And a lot of them I think are very unfair, and that is my excuse. Well, I didn't know. I went to a family event not long ago. I couldn't buy a ticket in the local council car park because there was something wrong with the app. I got out there in the morning. I paid for the ticket and I paid for the amount of hours that I would have stayed there. I got a fine. I contested the fine and said, look, yes, I didn't pay for the parking on that evening. I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pay. The app wasn't working or whatever. But I showed them my receipt from where I had, in good faith, paid 12 quid to say, look, I paid for that amount of time. And they got back to me and said, it's not an excuse. We are going to fine you. I didn't know about there was a Bradford low emission zone. I'm driving around, happy as Larry. 2 weeks later, £120 fine or whatever it was. I get fined constantly. So ignorance is not an excuse, Lammy. £2,500 fine, mate. You should have known. He's got the fishing rod. He's got the fishing rod.
Referred himself. He's referred himself to the parliamentary standards.
Well, he's wrote an
The
apology letter.
parliamentary standards
I mean,
watchdog.
fair play. I'll write an apology to the Mayor of London every time I think I've gone in a bus lane, and we'll see if I get let off with that fine. I doubt it somehow.
I mean, the thing is, who's actually going to pay the fine? I don't know. One way or another, the taxpayer's paying the fine because we pay David Lammy's wages. I'm guessing that JD Vance has got some kind of diplomatic passport, so he'll be okay anyway.
I'm sure he's got a few bob in his back pocket. I'm sure they can afford it.
But the whole thing is, look, I'm no fan of David Lammy whatsoever, but he realised his mistake, or he said he realised his mistake immediately. It was an administrative oversight, and he retrospectively has gone and bought a fishing licence. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a world, or lived at least in a country, where when somebody does something and realises they've done something wrong, that when they try and rectify that mistake in good faith, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that he rectified it. Well, he's not doing it in bad faith, is he, to avoid the fine? I'm sure he isn't. He's trying to do the right thing, or at least be seen to do the right thing. So, he made a mistake, but it's really terrible that he might end up getting a £2,500 fine. It's just ridiculous. Come on. And that's the same as you with your private firm. I'm sure that was a private firm that said, no, you didn't pay the ticket at the right time. You've got to pay for it. And it's just ridiculous because those fines, surely, if you have an operator on your land, those fines are supposed to be there for people who are just taking the mickey, who are trying to use your land for free and draw a benefit from your property for free. Well, no, they should pay for their parking ticket. But if somebody makes an honest mistake, we're just too quick to jump in. You can go and shoplift. So the thing is, you can't make an honest mistake. And on the thing with London, I mean, I think everybody gets nicked down there. Your nephew got nicked twice at the same no right turn when he was in my car moving into his new place in London, twice on the same day.
Letter to the mayor then, and he'd have got let off,
It came back to me. It came back to me, and I paid it for him. I didn't have the heart to tell him. I felt really sorry for him. So you can now go and you can shoplift. And we've seen images all week because it's all been about crime. Reform UK are talking about lawless Britain. So we've been seeing lots of images. There's stuff all over social media. It's all over the news about so-called lawless Britain. But shoplifting is something that is really, really coming up to the fore. And I've just seen so many images of people that just walking into shops with bags, and they're literally just putting the bags under the shelves and doing that and just hoofing all of the stuff off the shelves. And the staff don't want to get involved. And you can't blame the staff for not wanting to get involved because nowadays people are just worried about knife crime, aren't they?
Well, I think Labour have literally legalised it, haven't they? Shoplifting. I think it's not even classed as a major incident or whatever now. If it's under, I think if it's under £200, the police won't even go out. So you can literally go into a shop, shoplift £199 worth of goods, and the police won't even come out. So.
Well, wherever that's come from, I'm not quite sure because that's what people say, but that is not that, you're not exempt from the law if you shoplift £200 or less. That just isn't true. But maybe there've been, some police forces have been following some protocols. But
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But essentially, you're legalizing it because if that is the protocol in that area, if someone comes and takes £150 worth of stock, if the police aren't going to come out and do anything about it and not going to try and apprehend the thieves, then you're effectively legalizing it, aren't you? By the back door. Obviously, it's not legal in the terms of legal. But what I'm saying is, if no one's going to pursue you when you break the law, it's effectively legal.
Yes.
I'll just go and take £150 worth of gummy bears from my local corner shop tonight, and literally nothing will happen to me. No one's going to chase me. You're not allowed to apprehend me, because if you jump on top of me, I'm gonna get you done for assault, which is what's happened in a few places where the members of the public have tried to tackle wrong-uns, and it's actually the people that guy that walked around with his schlong out in the tube the other day. I think he was tackled by a load of good Samaritans, and the police are actually after them.
Well, I wanted to come to that, but I want to show this. So this is an image, an article that was in the Telegraph newspaper. I don't know if you can see that. So, calling shoplifters scumbags is offensive, warn police. So this has been all over the news. This guy, who's got a retro goods shop, was sick of people shoplifting, put this sign in the window, and he had the police come out to him and tell him that he should remove the sign because that might offend somebody. So some village idiot has obviously contacted the police because they've got nothing better to do. And the police have gone out there because they've not got anything better to do. Well, why aren't the police out actually catching the shoplifting scumbags? Why are they spending their time going to talk to this guy? That is just a complete and utter waste of police time.
The real crime here is his grammar. I mean, what the hell, man? What the hell? Scumbag ain't got a capital B in it. What was that? Put that back up. What was that? A little I in assistance. The rest was capitalized. That's the crime here. And there could be a segue to the education system. What kind of grammar's that? Freak, they should have got the grammar police out. But yeah, it's just
There it
pathetic.
is. Okay, just put that
Look,
back up.
I mean, come on. Behave yourself. That's the crime here.
Yeah, there was no full stop either. Andy didn't put a kiss at the end.
He put a comma in though after
Yeah,
shoplifting.
that's
Yeah, but
true. That's true.
it's not against. Well, obviously, it's not against the law to call someone a scumbag. So isn't the police's job to enforce the law? And if there's no law to enforce, I don't understand why the police are even going out. It's like why are the police even wasting? And who is the person that's
Well, maybe it was the shoplifter. Maybe it was a little vigilante group of shoplifters, and they thought, "Do you know what? When we go and shoplift from this poor man's shop, we actually don't want to be offended when we're in the process." And I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, if the law would want to protect them instead of protecting the guy who's just going about his business, trying to actually make a little crust and probably pay some tax into the system. So there was uh, a police chief. So this is the funny thing as well. So there's a police chief. The irony, who'd said he's the Thames Valley Police and Crime Commissioner, and he said that the public has got a duty to stand up to shoplifters rather than relying solely on police officers. So now you can't call the shoplifters scumbags. You can't put a sign up saying, calling out shoplifting and explaining that's why you've got locked
But you can kick his
cabinets.
head in. Don't call him a scumbag, but kick his. No, but it's the same as Curry's, isn't it? Curry's putting putting that little thing on the that little sign on the floor at the crossings in London saying "Mind the grab." So
Oh,
Curry's, yeah.
the purple strip.
So
Yes.
again, it's just more and more evidence that the police are just unable to enforce the law anywhere in the country. It seems it's just got to a point where it does feel very lawless. It does feel very lawless, like Farage was saying in his speech the other week. We are entering. I think the police are just losing control and their minds as well. All their priorities are wrong. They're not focusing on the things that matter. I just think they're focusing on. They seem to be focusing on thought crime a
Well, it's
lot.
perception, isn't it? And at the end of the, it is about people's perceptions. Off the back of the people, the public have got to take action themselves against shoplifters. So here is an image of some guys who wrestled a man off a train. So the guy had been on the tube and apparently he'd stood there exposing his genitals and his backside and refused to pull his trousers up. There were children on the train. I mean, whether there were children or not. So he was asked to comply with the request to pull his trousers up, refused. And apparently, one of the guys that hustled him off the train, and I don't know how it happened, but apparently one of them is now under investigation. So stand up to shoplifters. But when there's a guy on the tube who apparently has been detained under the Mental Health Act, but notwithstanding that he's got a mental health issue or not, the fact is nobody else wants to see somebody with the bits and pieces out on the train. And quite rightly, these guys did everything that they could to get him off the train and detain him until somebody came to help. But clearly now they're one of them is going to get arrested. I've no idea. They're investigating somebody. I don't believe actually they've made an arrest yet. But how can that be right? Well, it's just completely ironic. The two things just polar opposites. So the police are
Yeah.
saying one thing and just doing another.
Yeah, I think at the moment in this country we still have quite a solid moral barometer. So people know right from wrong, and a lot of people know when stepping in is going to be appropriate and when it's not. I mean, there was children on that train. There's obviously women on that train, and if I mean, are we not all on the same page that it's completely socially unacceptable to pull your kegs down to your ankles in the middle of a public space? I mean, do we still live in that time where that's socially unacceptable? So, I mean, at the end of the day, good for them if they wanted to step in. I mean, what's the alternative? Let me ask you that question. What's the alternative? Do you ring the police? Well, they probably won't come. Um, and then, so what's the other alternative? Do we all just stand there and watch him fondle himself in the middle of the train and just pretend that it's not happening? I just don't understand. I don't understand what the alternative is there. I mean, are the police going to chastise these men? How dare you? How dare you manhandle this man while he's innocently standing there with his penis out? It's just totally. You've totally overstepped the mark. I mean, it just doesn't make much sense, does it? So yeah, I mean, I can't see a problem with it. It's common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, there's the whole thing. You don't want people using unreasonable force, but at the end of the day, I mean, clearly the guy's got his bits and pieces out. You shouldn't be doing that on the train. But then, there are lots of things that people are doing that are not acceptable. Somebody today, from a migrant hotel, somebody at a migrant hotel has apparently just walked into somebody's house in Canary Wharf, come out of the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf and just walked into somebody's house. So how can anybody think that is okay? I think there
Well,
are,
maybe it is
people out
okay.
there who just don't.
They don't
I mean, this
understand.
the guy on the train's clearly has been detained under the Mental Health Act. This is a highly unusual act to do that on the train. In society, there's a lack of standards, I think. And I think the moral standards of the country have slid downhill a lot since I was a young person. And, at the risk of sounding like Mary Whitehouse, I just don't think people are as polite as they used to be. I just don't think that the behavior of people and what people think is acceptable behavior is the same as what it used to be. If you're on a train and you put your feet on the seats, that's actually an offence and you can be fined for it. And I heard that a lot of train conductors or whatever they're called, a lot of the train inspectors, the ticket inspectors, was saying that they were getting a lot of grief because they were trying to enforce this. But they shouldn't have to put up with grief from people. Why should people give them grief because they're enforcing it? What kind of slovenly slob thinks that you can go and sit on public transport and just stick your feet up on the seat? Who thinks you can do that? Well, you can't do that. I do not think that is acceptable. To me, that is unacceptable behaviour and it's just completely slobbish and you're just invading other people's space and you're invading other people's enjoyment of their journeys. It's exactly the same as people who have got kids on trains or on flights, and the kids are there and they've got iPads and they haven't got any headphones on and they're just playing Peppa Pig or Masters of the Universe or whatever it is that they're not even something I would want to watch or listen to. And they just sat there and they're just playing these tablets out loud. Who
Mm.
does that? Who are these parents who have such little regard for what is going on around them or other people around them that they just think it's okay to do that? Would you go out with any children and let children be sat there with a tablet and be streaming a TV program or anything online and forcing that on other
No.
people?
No, but that's the thing. I think people have just lost. That people just don't see the wider world around them. I think most people are just so self obsessed that people just don't think about other people anymore or other
But
people's feelings.
why?
I think me and my missus went to a restaurant. We went out to Meadowhall, and we don't eat out a lot. So we went to sit down and we thought we'll have something nice for a change. Sat down and then, like you say, someone sat next to us, two kids, all just with their iPads on, just blaring it out. I had to walk out. I had to go because I can't deal with that. But it's like, why should I be subjected just because you're a bad parent, just because you can't control your kids? That doesn't mean you have to subject me to the same torture. But it's like putting your lipstick on while someone's trying to make a point. Do you know what I mean? That's standards. Slipping. I mean, who does that? Who does that? I'm trying to make a valid point and you're putting lippy on. What's all that about? What's going on? This is what's wrong with the world. We've got people getting their penises out on public transport, people putting their feet on the seats, and then people putting lippy on in the middle of a
Well, it's
podcast.
absolutely it's outrageous. They're all degenerates.
So back in the, I don't know, 70s, 80s, lots and lots of people would go to church and there would be a sense of community and people would be held to certain standards. And we would get a lot of our moral guidance from the church, for example. And a lot of communities were tighter, a lot more people knew each other, and there was a lot more judgment and a lot more bullying. You know, people got bullied in to behave in a certain way because it just wasn't socially acceptable to do certain things, and we gradually just lost that. We've just lost it. I mean, everyone's in their own little bubbles now, aren't they? No one talks to their neighbors anymore. I've said before, all the pubs are closing, so people in the community don't go and socialize with each other anymore. Youth clubs are closing. There's no social network anymore. The only social network we've got is the one that we look at on a phone all the time.
Yeah, and it's all, all of that is all fake. But how do is that why people are letting their kids just sit there with iPads? I
Because
don't
people
know.
are lazy. Kids are addicted to their phones. They can't control their kids. I'd just love to drop kick some of them kids, chuck them out. I can't deal with it. I mean, on a plane, I've had it plenty of times, and I'm really, really sensitive to like background noises and stuff like that. And it's just to have it for an hour or 2 hours, just because parents have this thing where they can shut off, where they start to ignore external
Yes.
noises. Some people don't have that ability to
Yes.
block external noise, and it's really, really
Yes.
is awful for some people to
It
have to
drives
sit
me crazy.
because it's all you can focus on. So if I've got to sit while someone's listening to Peppa Pig for 2 hours, it's going to affect me. But why are you putting me in a position where I have to listen to it at all? You know what I mean? Like I say, just be polite, put some headphones on. Tell your
Well,
kid to
I
shut up and sit down and behave itself. I don't know, maybe just be a good parent. But yeah, unfortunately, times are a changing.
So I was on a plane about last year, and one of the cabin crew said over the system, the PA system, that if children were watching anything on tablets, that they had to wear headphones, and or or they had to have the volume turned down. And I can't actually remember which airline it was, but I would really love to find out what it is or which one it is. And if there is maybe that was just her because maybe she couldn't stand them. I don't know if that was an airline policy, but if I can find an airline whose policy it is that you're not allowed to have devices playing out loud, I'll be traveling with that airline as much as possible. That's who I'll be going with. They will get my business. It's as simple as
We'll
that.
we'll get to a point where it becomes a human right to be able to listen to an iPad. It'll get to a point where telling a child to put headphones on because you don't want to listen to their noise is child abuse, is some kind of mental abuse, and that's where we're going in terms of how nuts the population is. Or at least everyone, isn't it? Just everyone's disrespectful. Everyone chucks litter. I mean, my street it just looks like what's it? Skid of the dump, whatever it was called. It's just like
Stick of the dump.
skid of the dump. Yeah. Well, honestly, it's there's just litter everywhere. People just throw litter on the floor, and I never litter. I never ever litter. But people literally, I see people all the time. They'll just literally just throw litter on the floor like it's nothing. I mean, that was never socially acceptable. I mean, you used to get fined for that. There used to be signs everywhere saying you'd be fined, but you don't even see those signs anymore. But yeah, I just think, like you said, social standards are just slipping, aren't they? Just, and I think a lot of it is just to do with, we don't have those leaders anymore, leaders of the community that have got the cojones to stand up and tell people what's right, what's wrong, and tell people how it is. It's just we just cater to everyone's emotions and don't say this, be nice, don't physically assault someone if they've got their penis out in front of a child. Don't call someone who's thieving a scumbag because it might hurt their feelings. It's like no one's allowed to be hurt anymore. We can't hurt anyone's feelings, but yeah, I think we need to hurt a few more feelings. Tell people what's what.
Yeah, well, I think so, and I don't know if you've ever heard of a woman called Sydney Sweeney. Apparently, her genes are hurting people's feelings. Do you know who she is? Have you ever come
No,
across her?
not really, no.
So she is a very,
Well,
very
can I just stop
famous.
you there? Can I just she's obviously not that famous. I mean, what does she do? Because if she's not, if we don't know who she is, she's not A-list. I'm not having it.
Well,
What
she's an
does she do?
actor. She's an
Oh, is she?
actor.
What did she act
Yeah.
in?
I think she's in White Lotus, but I
Oh,
don't know
right.
what else she's in. But she has kind of set
Oh,
the internet on fire.
what's she done? What has she done?
She's been in a
She's
jeans
made a racist
advert.
remark.
No, she's made she's been in a photo wearing jeans. So it's for a brand called American Eagle, and the title of the ad said Sydney Sweeney has good jeans. And all the left liberal people have gone into a meltdown saying that people could be very upset. She doesn't understand how that could be offensive to people. This is basically right up there with eugenics, and that basically she's a white supremacist just because she's wearing a pair of jeans and it says that she's got good genes. I will show you a picture of it.
Show me.
This is her. I think she looks great.
They are terrible jeans. They are crap jeans. What the hell are they? What the hell are they? What are we? 70s commercial or what? Look at the size of that bad boy. It's like a wizard sleeve. What the hell was that? No. Chill out, guys. She's got terrible genes. Terrible genes.
Well,
And she's
she
double
has
denim. She's double denim. That's meant to be a big no-no. Double denim.
she
Guys,
has
chill out. She's got bad genes. And hey, it's all subjective, guys. It's all subjective. She might think she's got good genes. You might think she's got I think she's got terrible genes. It's all subjective. Take a chill pill. Why
well,
why why is it akin to eugenics?
well, I think
Well,
there
it's
are
called
people.
eugenics, isn't it? I mean, are people going to start, you know, putting down babies now because of this jeans advert? What are we saying?
Yeah, here she is again. Look, striking a pose. I mean, I think she looks fabulous. I don't
Well,
know that she's trying to build a master race, is she, by wearing
I
jeans?
don't know, but I hope she doesn't go on the London train network dressed like that because she's going to get rugby tackled.
She's gonna get
She,
wrestled to the ground by 4 lads.
she's definitely got a mental illness there. She needs to dress properly. She's obviously got a problem. I mean, it's just
Well,
ridiculous, and I mean, the world's and this is the thing about being able to say, nasty things. I mean, unfortunately, in the world, there are ugly people. There are people that aren't as good looking or not as blessed as other people. So, at the end of the day, some people may think a skinny, blonde, blue-eyed woman is particularly gorgeous. Someone may think that a hairy armpitted 20 stone woman is gorgeous. It's just different strokes for different folks, isn't it? Just
well, here,
because.
let's look at these people from the Calvin Klein ad.
Oh, go on
So, wearing
then.
jeans, to your
Exactly.
point.
I mean, look, that's not my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? Is the bloke or
But you
woman?
could say that person's got good genes. It doesn't mean that they're a
Well, if
supremacist,
that's
does
if
it?
that's if that's what if that's what you if that's what I mean, he needs to pull them jeans up. He either needs to pull his pants down or his jeans up. What the bloody hell? I can't make. Is his waist really low or is it really high?
Don't know.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know,
And
but those people,
I
they're
mean,
not
what?
my cup of tea, but why? They're not offensive, are they?
And why?
Who are
Look,
they offending? Who cares if they
that
think they've got good genes or good bras or boobs? Well,
that
that's up to
lady
them. Good
there,
luck to them.
that lady there has a whole costume department behind her. If she's doing a photo shoot for Calvin Klein, why don't the bras match the knickers? Again, that's my main concern. My main concern ain't your look, love. It's why can't you pair up a frigging bikini costume? What's wrong with you? And this is it, innit?
Yes.
Even him, look at his pants, jet black pants. And is that a nipple slipping out the back? I don't understand. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But look, if you're into that kind of thing, if you like that kind of thing, then fine. You may think that's the most beautiful, fantastic look in the world. If so, more power to you. But I ain't gonna start. I ain't gonna start going. Actually, I probably am. I mean, why are we showing people that this is like normal behavior to just like that? I mean, are we really? Are we really? Are we really gonna all? It's like the King's New Clothes, isn't it? You know that Hans Christian Andersen book where the king's walking around naked because
Yes, you love
the
that story. You love
I
that
used to love that when I was a
story.
kid. The tailors say only people who are worthy can see the clothes. Anyone else won't be able to see them. So everyone just pretends that what they're looking at is the most beautiful. Oh, it's fantastic. Until one person who happens to be a little kid who was innocent turns around and says, "The king is naked."
Yes.
I'm going to be that guy. That just doesn't, it's not a good look. That guy with the boob tube. Why is he wearing a boob tube?
So,
I'm not
has this
quite sure.
person got good genes?
Oh, they're fantastic jeans. Oh, they're really nice. Who is that?
That's Beyonce.
That is beyond. Yes, no. Whoa, she she isn't
So
she getting?
she's in a new ad campaign for Levi's, and she's got blonde curly hair. I don't know if that's cultural appropriation or not, but she looks great. And who cares if she's got blonde hair? I
She
don't
looks
care.
good. I mean, she needs to be careful. She's going to twist her ankle in them heels if she's not careful. But they are some high heels. That's an art in itself, being able to walk in them. How well, are they 6 inch? They're 6 inch stilettos. Them.
Big heels.
They can't be good for your
She's
posture.
got good jeans and big heels.
She's got big everything by all accounts, but she's doing all right. So we'll let her off. Yeah, great jeans. Great jeans. Again, if that's what you're into, each to their own. The difference is, right? The difference is, joking aside, to look the way Beyonce doesn't look that way naturally. Yeah. The
Doesn't
what?
she?
No, I mean, no. What's this other girl's name?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. She doesn't look the way she looks, through putting zero effort in. these people are constantly working to try and improve themselves, to improve the
I'm not
figure,
sure
yeah?
the people in the Calvin Klein
No,
ad
well, this is my
that we
point.
saw would be
This is my
maybe
point.
the I think they're an
This is
exception.
this is my point. So it's all right for the people who want to sit and eat 15 cheeseburgers to then point at the people who obviously dedicate their whole life in terms of how to improve their body image because that's their moneymaker. Yeah. It's fine for the people that don't want to put the effort in to then turn around and go, well, that's not fair. You look absolutely fantastic. Well, stop eating cheeseburgers. Stop eating
Yes.
cheeseburgers, and you might have a chance of looking like that. But stop pulling everyone else down. Stop pulling everyone else down. This is what these kind of lefties do. They would rather pull everyone else down than elevate themselves because it's just too hard to elevate yourself actually takes hard work. It takes a bit of
Yes.
self-discipline. I want that body. I want the muscles. Well, you're gonna have to go to the gym. You're gonna have to stop eating those lovely, delicious, juicy cheeseburgers and actually do something about it. But just because someone else is doing, do you think Beyonce looks like that? Do you think she's sat on the sofa eating a Five Guys? Like, yeah, you're right, love. Bring us some fries and a milkshake. Is she out? She's probably sacrificed so much to look like that. She looks incredible. And she's had about 3 kids. Leave them alone. That girl, I mean, can you imagine what the Sweeney girl has had to do to stay that skinny? Like, how many cheeseburgers, how many Domino's pizzas has she sacrificed? When people are all sat around going, "Oh, what do you want? Do you want a pepperoni pizza? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'll have a 4 cheese. I'll have an Hawaiian. What do you want, love? A lettuce leaf. I'm going to eat a lettuce leaf. Why? Because my job depends on it. Fascist! Fascist! You fascist lettuce eater!
White
Come on.
supremacist.
Yeah, white supremacist, lettuce eating fascist. I
Eugenic
mean, do
sympathizer
you know what I mean? And her jeans are crap. All that
with
effort, and they put
flares,
all
wearing
that effort,
flares.
and they put her in those jeans. For Christ's sake. Well, just give everyone a break, man. Go on, eat your cheeseburgers. Go eat your cheeseburgers and be happy. You're just not happy. If you're obviously not happy, go and eat your cheeseburgers. Be happy. Be happy in
Well,
your skin. Be happy in the skin you're in. And if you don't like the skin you're in, change it.
yeah, if you've got lots of excess skin, there are things that you can do to get rid of it. You can get Manjaro, other brands are available. There's all sorts of things that you can do if you do have excess skin.
I'm fat. I've been fat. I'm on a diet.
I don't think you're fat.
No, but I'm 16 stone, right? A month,
Is
six
that a
weeks ago.
lot?
Well, it's enough. 6 weeks ago, I decided I was fat because I was 17 stone. And I thought, I'm getting fat, and my chin's getting fat, and my belly's getting wobbly. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm about 6 foot wide. So, do you know what I thought? I thought I'm going to stop
I mean, you
drinking.
don't look like Sydney Sweeney, to
I,
be fair.
no, no, bit too hairy. I got my cheeseburger and I threw it away. And I rejected the cheeseburger. I
Wow.
rejected McDonald's. And I said, hey,
Wow.
I said, no, I'm not going to eat any more cheeseburgers. And I've lost weight and I'm starting to feel a bit better about myself. So, I'm the first one to say I'm fat. I've been fat. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to stop drinking so much. But you've got to work towards if you want to look like that. I just want to lose a bit of weight. Give me a break, man. I'm just a model. I'm just a model trying to make it out here, guys. Leave me alone.
Amen
God's
to that. Well,
sake.
you're a bit late to the modelling party, but there are people who, start very good, lucrative modelling careers when they're older, actually. I can't think of any, but I'm just trying to.
But there's loads of them. This is what
I'm
I'm
sure there
saying.
are.
I mean, do you think
50's the new 40.
I
So,
don't,
you're
it,
not
it,
50 yet.
it just says something on the Calvin Klein one where, if you want to advertise people who are a little bit more of a chunky monkey, that's fine. I mean, she's got tattoos as well. like, I'm not a big fan of people with tattoos, like women with tattoos. I don't find it particularly attractive, but that's just my take on things. If you want to cover yourself head to toe in pictures of butterflies and, I don't know, tattoo a spider's web on your breasts or your face, be my guest, be happy. Do you know what I mean? Do what you want to do. But don't pull me down when I've lost 3 stone and I look fantastic.
And
Just
you've got a Calvin Klein contract.
right. Well, yeah. You know what I mean? Each to their own. Live and let live. Who said that? Someone said that. Live and let live.
Choose life. Yes.
Not a hamburger.
So what about choosing to give away islands?
Well,
Oh, okay. What
I,
about
but
that tasty little morsel of a story then? What do you think about
kind of think
Chagos? Chagos. Chagos.
Chagos.
Chagos.
Chagos. Well, I don't know. Is it warm in the Chagos? Because I tell you what, it's warm here. Well, yeah, it's just going to cost us billions of pounds now to give away. I just don't understand. Like, we're giving something away. We're just paying billions and billions of pounds to give something away that we owned. And not only are we giving it away, it's now going to cost like 10 times more than what we thought it was going to cost. So I don't
So
know.
what's happened is Starmer said it was going to cost about £3.5 billion, didn't he? And then the Conservatives did a Freedom of Information request, and that's come back and said £34.7 billion. But then the government saying, oh, no, 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 because the way that it's been calculated, we've accounted for inflation. And then there's something called the time preferential rate or something, and we've reduced it again for that. But what's come out is that they're not using that accounting method for things that they're promoting. So they're talking about infrastructure projects that they're investing in, and they're saying that it's worth X amount of billions over so many years, but they're not using the same inflation and this preferential rate to actually calculate what the true spend is. So it's sort of, they're using apples and pears to make the costs that they're spending less, but the amount of investment that they're making more. So it's like a sort of smoke and mirrors way of trying to show people that basically they're not spending as much money as they are. And it's pretty outrageous that you can undervalue the cost of this exercise by tenfold, which is what they've done. So 3.5 billion to call it
Well,
35
we kind
billion.
of do that as standard, don't we?
But
For
I
most
mean,
infrastructure projects, they always end up costing 10 times more than what. I mean, if you look at the what HS2, hasn't that like gone 10 times what it was originally meant to cost?
I mean, I think we've even lost. I mean, everybody's just lost count.
Are we
now
still
of how
building
much-
it? Are we still even building it?
I don't even know.
It's only going to North London now, isn't it, or something? They've reined it back all the way to North London. It goes from Central London to what?
I don't know.
Luton
I
or
don't
something. It's going to be
know.
Luton. You're going to get to London 38 seconds faster. I don't know.
Ridiculous.
At least Mauritius are going to be able to lower their taxes for their people.
I don't think they're going to have any taxes, are they?
Well, I don't know. It just
Well, we're
seems
paying their taxes. We're paying their taxes.
can
We're
anyone
paying
actually-
for everything. Why are we paying for everything in the
Well,
world? Where's the money coming from?
Well, I still can't find, and I've tried to look into this. I can't find the reason we're actually giving away this in a world where everyone seems to be fighting over scraps of territory. Why are we just giving away our sovereign territory? I mean, I can't find anything to explain why. I know there's this international court ruling that isn't legally binding that we never even had to listen to. And why was it like the first thing that one of the first things that Keir Starmer wanted to do? It's like he'd never mentioned giving away British overseas territories. He'd never mentioned it once. And then within the first, was it a month? He turned around. But by the way, forgot slight detail that I forgot to mention. I'm giving away the Chagos Islands. I mean, I've never heard of the Chagos Islands, but it's an irony, isn't it? Where we're now being told that there's going to be a 40. I mean, Rachel Reeves started off at the start saying we've got a 22 billion pound black hole we've got to fill. Even though It was them that had spent the money that created half of the 22 billion black hole. But now we've got a 40 billion black hole,
Oh, I
which is
thought
all.
it was 50.
Oh, well, okay. Well, if
Oh,
it's
I've
50,
just
it's
gained
even
10
worse.
billion. I'm
Well,
feeling lucky.
what's 10 billion when you're a Labour government? It's neither here or there, is it? But you've got the black hole is equal to the amount we're going to give Mauritius to rent off the island that we're giving them for no apparent reason.
Well,
It's just bonkers. It's just like, are these? Can someone just explain why we are giving away the Chagos? I mean, maybe we don't need them. Maybe we don't need them. Maybe they're too expensive to keep. But do you realise how much money 40 billion is? It's
well,
a
it's a
lot of. I mean, it's like a third of the cost of the NHS for a year, for the whole NHS for the whole of the country. It's 40 billion. It's humongous amounts of money. It's incomprehensible amount of money, and then we're just giving that away to rent something that we own. It just makes no sense. I mean, you'd laugh at everything. I've got a car. I've been paying it off. I've made my last payment today. I fully own it. It took me ages. Pride and joy. This car. Would you like it? Why? I don't know. Bob next door thinks you haven't got a car, so he wants me to give you my car. Now he's got nothing to do with him, but his opinion is that I should give you my car. Well, yeah, I'll have that car. Here's the catch. I'd like to rent it back off you, if you don't mind, and put the fuel in it, and you use it. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the logic, isn't it?
Who would say no?
Well,
Who would say no to that
but
logic?
but if
I
anyone
think
can come out with
the
a counter argument, I'd be very impressed. A counter reason as to why we should give it. It's got a US airbase on it, for God's sake. I don't know. I'm
well,
confused.
I think that the thing is as well is that certain things that we want to do at Chagos, we've got to get permission from the Mauritians first to do it. And I think they're quite friendly with the Chinese. So I think the concern as well is that we're giving away military secrets, if you like, or we'll say, well, we want some aircraft carriers to come in, or the US is coming, some battleships are coming, who knows? But that we've got to tell the Mauritians, and then they're going to go and tell our enemies.
No, no,
How
no,
can
no, no,
that be
no.
right? Why would you do
No, no, no,
that?
no. In the same analogy, right? If I didn't give you that's like saying, no, you've got to give next door the BMW. And I say to my next door neighbor, well, come and take the BMW. And Tyson Fury's sat in the back. Yeah, there's a US naval base on there, for God's sake. No one's taking that island. No one's taking a US naval
Yes, what would
base.
anybody have done? What would anybody have done if we just said, "Do you know what? We know there's a court ruling, but we're going to ignore
Yeah,
it.
but it was
Sorry about
non-binding.
that.
It was
Come on,
non-binding.
come and take us if you think you're hard enough," kind of thing.
He's on
I
it.
don't
And
think they would have done that.
no, and that's it's like saying, would you steal the car if it had a grizzly bear in the back seat? No, you wouldn't. No one would touch that island. So I just and Mauritius have never owned it. Mauritius have
No.
never owned the Chagos Island. And I looked at it. I looked at it on Google Earth. It's a nice looking island, and there's a lovely runway on it. So I think we should have kept it.
Well, Reform UK have said that if they get into power at the next general election, that they are not going to honour the terms of any deal because the deal is not worth the paper it's written on. So they're going to basically get it back. That's their premise. That's what they're saying. And actually, good luck to them because I'm with you. Why on earth would we want to give away something that appears to be a critical strategic asset in the world that we're living in now, which is feels more uncertain and more unsettled than ever? Why on earth would you just go and give something away because some bonkers international court tells you to do so? You know, our courts are the most important things. I'm not really bothered about the international courts. Our courts are the most important thing. And Britain has actually stood up to the rest of the world, has stood for the rest of the world, and has been a just and democratic country for centuries, and has pretty much throughout its history, or its recent history, has done the right thing and has had the right mindset about protecting its citizens. But now it seems like we don't want to do that. We're not interested in protecting our own citizens. This government is more interested in protecting the rights of citizens from everywhere except for its own country,
Well,
except for this country.
are they interested in the rights of defending people who live on the Falklands? Because obviously, you know, what are Argentina going to think now? Now that we've just given up the Chagos Islands and abandon the people as well. Like, don't forget the Chagonians. They didn't want to. They didn't want the island going to Mauritius. They wanted to stay British. Now, what
Well,
happens
and the
if Argentina decide they want to? They want to take the Falklands now. Are we? Are we going to do anything about? What about Gibraltar?
Yeah, and I don't think that actually the Labour government is very keen on the Scottish independent vote. That's something that we should be allowing them to vote for. I mean, I say, why can't the English have a vote, and why don't we vote for the Scottish to leave? Let's us have a referendum or whether we want Scotland to stay part of the UK, because there's plenty of people in Scotland who are always saying they want to leave the UK, but the government's not very keen on that, are they? But why don't we ever get a vote on that? Why don't the English and the Welsh get a vote on, and the Northern Irish? Why don't we get a vote on whether the Scots should stay?
I know. I like the Scottish, and they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. It's like a dog chasing a car down the street. When the car stops, the dog don't know what to do with it. It's like they want independence. They'll shout about how bad the English are, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that we give more to the Scottish coffers than they supply to us. So
Yes, we do Barnett formula. They get more. They get more money under the Barnett formula per
legal.
capita.
Here we go.
For
Explain, explain. Well, no, that's what I mean. And also, but they're all Europhiles as well. They all want to rejoin the European Union. But I don't think they even qualify. Why would they want to come away from the greatest union in existence and join another union that's failing? It makes no sense. What do they want to do? Take on the euro? I mean, what we're going to do with all the nuclear facilities up there? Are we going to give away all the oil? It's never going to
well, there's
happen.
well,
It's
we're
never
not
going to
having
happen.
oil now, are we? We're having wind
Well, no,
farms. Not getting to that. I don't think there'll be any. I don't think there'll be any oil to go after. But
don't leave Scotland. We love you, Scotland. We love Wales. We love Scotland.
okay,
Don't
Scotland can
leave.
stay.
But look,
Fine.
what happens if London City? What happens if Sadiq Khan says, "Well, London wants a referendum to leave England now"? Because a lot of people say London's its own country with another country just wrapped around it. All the money comes from London. All the money's in London. What if London decide they want to?
Yeah, like I always say, there's an NHS with a little economy attached to the side of it. That's a similar sort of thing. But yeah, that's the problem with all these devolved administrations, and there's going to be more mayoralties. So Angela Rayner wants more mayoralties. There's going to be more devolution. It's not really devolution, and ultimately they're using money to bribe local authorities to accept devolved powers. And Sadiq Khan, don't get me started on him. He talks about London and how, there's all these lefties saying London is so safe. Well, if it's so safe, why does he drive around in an armoured vehicle? Why does he have 24-hour police protection? Why? Answer me that.
It's not safe. It's not very safe in London. I think London's crime statistics have just come out. Crime's gone up in London. Phone snatching, stabbings. They're 1 in 4 kids now carry a knife because they're under this illusion that they're not safe if they don't carry a knife. I mean, the knife culture in London's just ridiculous. People are having their phones snatched left, right, and centre. People are being mugged. People are being assaulted. I mean, have you ever been to Charing Cross? Well, that's like the Wild West down there. Someone just got murdered wearing a nice watch outside a hotel in Mayfair.
Okay, outside the casino, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's just bonkers down there. He's getting rid of a load of police officers. I think recruitment in the police is low its rate. I mean, you look at some of the police. I mean, there are some hard-looking police in London, but you look at a lot of the police these days, and they just look like they've just left university. 8 stone, soaked wet through. I mean, there's a lot of women in frontline police, which I don't necessarily agree with. That's probably a contentious point.
we could probably save that topic for another time.
All right, bossy. Easy. There you go. Easy. Just killed it. If you've enjoyed this episode of the T Word, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to a friend. Other than that, we'll see you next week.
If you enjoyed watching today's episode and want to see and hear more from us weekly, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also find us on all major social media platforms. My name's Justine, goodbye, and thanks for watching The T Word.